of 1,000 years. It finished the American Le Mans Series, almost an Asian Le Mans Series race. And of course, all eyes for this were on Alan McNeish. But a little word about the circuit first of all, because McNeish has had his, there's the Crocodile Audi, as it's known, or it's to be known for this race. First use of this 1985 Australian Grand Prix on this circuit at Adelaide, on the street circuit. It's situated on the edge of the City Mile. And when in 1985 it staged the Australian Grand Prix, it was said to be the beginning of a model for street circuits elsewhere. Well, McNeish is in pole position, but he injured his back during a photo shoot in Scotland a few days before coming to Adelaide, and then re-injured his back in Australia. He only drove a handful of laps in practice on Friday, and he had to get out of the car and go straight back to hospital because of the pain. And he wasn't even on the circuit. He took Saturday to relax after treatment, and it was his teammate Ronaldo Capello who qualified the car on the pole for the 6-hour race, 5 hours 45 minutes to be exact, on this 2.36 mile circuit. McNeish has decided to start. He only has to do 25 laps to complete in order to win the American Le Mans title. Well, underway they go, and it's Frank Miele with the Audi from Alan McNeish through the first complex of corners. A lot of 90 degrees corners here, very heavy on braking. McNeish has said, well, he wanted to race, he wanted to win the title the right way. Capello, of course, could do it, his teammate, if McNeish hadn't raced. But first target then, 25 laps. Miele from McNeish. David Brabham currently in third place with the first of two panels is there. In fact, panels in third, fourth and fifth. And that's Brabham, O'Connell and Magnussen. And it's the Cadillac of Cristo Tinso in sixth place. But Frank Miele at least making the early running. So a day off for Alan McNeish on the Saturday. He really has been in quite a lot of pain. Very dominant looking car, that Australian Audi. There's Tinso with the Cadillac just for a moment. We saw the black car there. But that is Audi from Audi. And McNeish, maybe just for the moment, letting the adrenaline take care of the pain. And Miele take care of the lead for Audi. David Brabham, very much on home turf, and we climb aboard with a man who should know this circuit well. Lots of those 90-degree turns. Very hard work on car and driver. 2.36 miles of the circuit here. One very long straight where they reach speeds of just over 170 miles an hour to the prototypes. So the leading panels driver currently in third place. When the Australian Grand Prix was here in 85, 200,000 watts. They're expecting 130,000 for this. There you can see the speedometer just touching 170 miles an hour, though they come down sharp right-hander. It hooks down to just around 30 miles an hour as they come out, and they've got a very short little straight again, and then it's down on the power again, and then lift just for a second, and back round again. And you can see that up ahead, the two Audis of Miele and McNeish, with this man, David Brabham, with the watching brief. Get a chance to have a quick look up at the stand there. Gorgeous weather as befits Adelaide. Some gorgeous sounding motor cars as well. Now I bet the graphics people spend a few hours on that. Obviously a big favourite with the Australian crowd here, but the man behind him will be as well, David Brabham. It's Frank Miele. with the lead. It's almost as if they wind through a complex of corners and then whack it out down the long straight, which has got two parts to the long straight. The first part of it, then the second part. This is the really long straight, and you're on board, or you were on board, with Alan McNish. McNish right behind Biella. And the first of the panels is there. David Brabham staying with the battle for the lead at the moment. And back on board with the Crocodile. Scottish Crocodile driver. He says that the 25 laps are first key in his mind, and he just hopes that the pain will stay away and his back will have some sympathy for him, says Alan McNish. When Jan Magnussen, in one of those penalties that was up in 5th place, has stopped, there he is. I think they'll put him on the swivel table. That's an alternator failure, and Jan Magnussen out of the race. The GT pole was the property of Lucas Lure. And in the battle there with Sascha Maassen. And it's Lucas Lure who goes through. Classic inside line overtaking. Very much a drive that's got to be conducted conscious of the prototype cars being obviously much quicker. And talking of the prototype cars, there's Frank Miele. And inevitably, sandwich, Porsche sandwich in there. The Audi coming through with Alan McNish at the wheel, and they really do have to start threading their way through past the back markers. Great deal of care required. So Biella from the inevitable McNish, and it's Brabham from O'Connell. Manuel Collard has been elevated up to 5th spot with a Cadillac now. And there's a Cadillac in 6th position as well. And the Lola of Schiaparelli up into 7th place, but that's Vic Rice. A ball joint on the left. Broken ball bearing. Should be able to put that right. Meanwhile, the battle between Frank Biella and Alan McNish for 1st place. McNish having a look. And these two starting to get away a little bit from David Brabham now. Five victories for Alan McNish this season. And this, of course, is the final and 12th race. It looks like he's ready to have a go just about any time. This is the very sharp right-hander, then goes to a sharp left-hander. And you can see how they have to be really careful as they pass some of the back markers from the different classes. Now look at this. We've got GT and GTS cars up ahead of them. It really is threading through the eye of the needle. You've got to be ever so careful as well. Follow through the man who's already overtaking. It won't be quite so easy to follow through on that occasion, but advantage at some stages for Biella, other for McNish. Remember, McNeish didn't get his hands on the wheel at all on the day prior to the race. Told by the doctors just to rest up completely. Well, David Brabham has dropped away from these two, such is the pace. Well, there he is. Panos still in third position. Somewhat lonely race for David Brabham at the moment. Anything but lonely for Biella, with McNeish right there behind him. Lights more, perhaps, in fact, definitely to warm as they come up to conduct their lappery. You've got to say, certainly those graphic designers had some fun with that, didn't they? Be remembered for an awful long time, particularly if it wins here. And there you can see that will just touch up to over 170 miles an hour. Then it's the anchors. And the sharp right-hander. And you're on board with Alan McNeish. Best sports car racing driver in the world. But he's being bested at the moment by Frank Biella. They reckon about 130 to 150,000 are watching this. And it finishes just 2 hours before what they say is the real millennium. And concentration massively important. Look at some of that heel and towing and foot movement there. And McNeish is really looking to see if he can find a way around, but he's got to do it in the middle of a traffic jam of slower vehicles. And it is ever so important that they get it just right. And it really is now the traffic jam, but in fairness, a lot of these drivers absolutely brilliant at conducting their own class race and at the same time being able to drive in their mirrors. McNeish has another look behind the Certec car there. And now looks to see if he can get through it on the inside there. And he has gone through. He has gone through, so McNeish now in the lead, and this is how he'd like to clinch the championship. Only has to complete 25 laps, of course, and the championship is his. He'd like to do it with a win as well. And now that he's got into the lead, can he get away from Frank Biella? This seems to be opening out just a little bit. Long, long way to go yet. There's that manoeuvre again. Lined up down the inside, squirted through it. Biella leaving, of course, plenty of room. No advantage in holding back Alan McNeish. And David Brabham still holding into third spot there. Quick look at David Brabham. And he, in fact, is a considerable way ahead of Johnny O'Connell. Some 17 seconds. As the blue flags wave to allow him to thread his way through the field. Pick up on the leader in the GTS class. And there he is, Olivier Beretta with the Viper. And that's Tinsu with the Cadillac. He's sixth, behind the similar car of Emmanuel Collard. There's a bit of a three-way battle between Lucas Luhr and his teammate Dirk Muller for the GT class title. Sascha Maassen and Bob Woolek involved in that as well. Meanwhile, McNish, who completed just a few seconds ago lap 25, that clinched the 2000 ALMS driving championship. And that's Joe Foster with the GT Porsche. He will continue. Certainly got it wrong there. First of the pit stops, David Brabham with the panels. He's in for tyres and fuel. That's Johnny O'Connell. Just fuel for Johnny. And Frank Biella. Again, fuel only for him. And similarly, it will be Alan McNish. There he is, in the pits, fuel only. Well, we can have a ride around this 2.36 mile Adelaide circuit now, just away from the shopping centre. And we go aboard with Mimo Schiaparella. Now it's the right-hander which quickly comes right back round on itself. Schiaparella is climbing up. He's now in 5th position overall. He's 2 laps down on the leader McNish, who's got him in his sights. Now just look at that. Now that was just a question of running out of room, and David Brabham will certainly be very annoyed with that. Here it is again. That's Des Wall's Porsche. Meanwhile, as Brabham continues somewhat slowly, Alan McNish is still dominating with this Crocodile Audi. More of it in just a second.
The simple words we take for granted.
I'll be right back. We're gonna have to ditch.
This year, one man will find the courage to keep that promise. Tom Hanks, Castaway.
Autosport International, the fastest 4 days of the year. Top cars, top teams, Formula One drivers, rally crews, top riders in bike sport. Live motor racing in the British Eurosport Thunderdrome. All of the Birmingham NEC from January the 11th to the 14th. Be part of the world's most explosive motorsport show. For advance ticket bargains, call 0870 264 4444 or look at the website.
In the land of everlasting springtime, 4 teams take their winter break to train and to contest the 18th International Football Tournament of Maspalomas. Galatasaray, champions PSV Eindhoven, Rosenborg and Hertha Berlin. It's a strong lineup. The International Football Tournament of Maspalomas from Gran Canaria, starting Wednesday live at 20:15 with PSV Rosenborg, and right through to Saturday on Eurosport. With Gran Canaria.
Enter our Retro Season 2000 competition. Simply answer the following question and you could win the famous game console everybody's looking for. Are you ready? Okay, let's start. Which footballer scored the golden goal in the Euro 2000 final? David Trezeguet, Zinedine Zidane, or Vicente Lizarazu? You know the answer? Call us right now then and don't miss your chance to win a fabulous game console.
And there he is, Alan McNeish in the Crocodile Audi. My name's Tony Delahunty. It's our second and third hour that we're reviewing now. The race that took place on New Year's Eve. That's Bob Woolek in the GT class. He's actually got a flat right rear tyre, and that was caused with contact with the prototype Audi of Frank Biella. And there you can have a look at that. Whoa! And Biella just looking to go around the nose of Bob Woolek. That's Biella in second place. And David Brabham. Look at an incident there for David Brabham. But it's not all going too well for him. Now, Brabham was a little bit lucky as well. That's one incident that didn't go too well. There's Randy Wars in front of him in a Porsche GT car, spinning right in front of the Australian. Australian spinning in front of Australian. Meanwhile, a battle for fourth place. Johnny O'Connell with the Panos, chased by Mimo Scattarella. And we're on board with Scattarella. And O'Connell. And O'Connell goes, well, hardly straight on. That is not the way home. So Johnny O'Connell turning around and getting back onto the right position in the circuit. Just went up straight on there. Meanwhile, Alan McNeish still the leader. He's done over the 25 laps, so he knows he's the American Le Mans champion for the year 2000. And that's David Brabham. He's got some rear problems. Greg Murphy has taken over. That's Johnny O'Connell's Panos in the pits. Fuel and tyres, they're going to bleed the brakes. And the Japanese driver Hiroki Kato will take over. And there is O'Connell going off the track. And that's why they're bleeding the brakes. Now have a look at this from Alan McNeish, a number 8 Porsche GT car. You've got to be ever so careful. You can see it again. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. You didn't know he was there. More problems for Hiroki Kato with the Panos. All sorts of problems. But apart from that one we saw when it looked like he was going to get squeezed quite tightly, McNeish dominant. Coming up to 2 hours completed. And there's a lap between the two Audi R8s now. Bretta's Dodge Viper in 6th overall. Belloc back in 9th. Richard Dean and Johnny Molam, 14th. Well, I wonder how his back's feeling now. Maybe the knowledge that he's clinched the championship by completing those 25 laps have helped destroy the pain. He was certainly in a degree of discomfort. He got out of the car after practicing on Friday, straight to the hospital, and told by the doctors to spend yesterday away from the circuit. Well, there's the man himself. Inventor of the championship, Don Panos, founded the ALMS series. And now it's Ronaldo Capello, taken over from Alain McNeish, who is the leader. And the man going down the inside here rather slowly, that's Norman Simon. He's got a tyre problem. In fact, he's got a problem having no tyre on the front right there. It's gone. And he will just come round and go into the pits. Domino Sciattarella to take over. And now it's Emmanuel Pirot. And that's running in second position behind the Audi that is leading. So McNeish gets a well-earned rest. Capello is about a minute now in front of Pirot. Well, that is Pirot stopped on the track. And the car is modified and not by design. Let's see if we can have a look at that again. Franz Conrad at Banana Bend this is, and straight on in. Pirot hit the wall. There was a little contact with Franz Conrad. And Pirot out of the car. He's going to try and limp it back. And of course losing valuable time now. That won't be the concern of Capello. Ronaldo, who put this car on pole while Alain McNeish wasn't even at the circuit. They did, of course, and they have, of course, got a standby driver for Alain McNeish. Brad Jones, Australian super touring driver. Oh, championship class. In the GTS class, it's the Dodge Viper. That is now lying in 5th overall with the lead. As we take a trip round with a Dick Barber Racing Porsche. In the GT class, Lure, who's at 8th overall, from Fitzgerald, Molam, Cunningham and Woolek. And we'll be back with more from the race of the century in Adelaide in just a moment.
On the racetrack. Dakar 1000.
I'm going to see you soon, and you know what that means.
At the edge of the world, Chuck Nolan is about to discover no one can save him but himself. Tom Hanks, Castaway.
The great adventure of the Paris-Dakar Rally, 10,000 kilometres across Europe and Africa. Follow every moment live online with Eurosport.com. The very latest news on the teams and the torment of the greatest rally on earth. And every night, British Eurosport has highlights of the latest stage. 300 bikes, cars and trucks in a 3-week battle. The total Paris-Dakar Rally. Highlights every night at 9:30 on British Eurosport.
With Total.
Euromaster. What drives us is you.
And Mitsubishi Motors.
This Monday, British Eurosport gives you the gift of second sight. All of the weekend's winter sport in a reprise, an encore, all the stuff you missed. The whole event, no cuts, no edits, just the action. We call it Relive, so you settle back and relive it all. Monday, Relive from 8 o'clock on British Eurosport.
Well, that's Ronaldo Capello, and as they go into the third hour, it's a race of 5:45, so they're over halfway through. This man who shares the car with Alan McNeish is the leader. McNeish already is the ALMS champion, but that's not championship stuff there. Both 32 and 31. That's Collard and Tinso have retired, so it's packing up time for the Cadillacs. They were running at 6th and 7th. In fact, at one stage, Collard moved up to 5th. But that is all over now. And that's Greg Murphy with that Panos that has stopped. A David Brabham car. Should be able to see what actually happened there at the moment. Trying to get him back to the pits. Rather a heavy bang on the... That looks like it's gone straight in there. It couldn't have gone in too quickly. Maybe we can have a look at that. There he goes, straight through the corner and straight on and into the wall. And now from the driver's point of view, as he starts to take that corner, and it's just going on and on and on and on and on. Bang. And it's 3 wheels on his wagon, isn't it? He does get back. And that's Kato with brake problems. All those little swivels. Take it straight back into the garage. But still right at the front. It's Capello. And everyone's got the lights on now. Should finish about just before 10 o'clock in the evening. But Capello was saying before the race, he's going to have to be a bit careful when he gets to darkness here, with all these 90-degree angle corners. At the moment, he's got absolutely no problems at all. And a 6th victory for him and McNeish. And that's Bill Oberlin. He had a rear end knock earlier on. The long run backwards down the pit road for Bill Oberlin in the GT class. You can have a look here again. He was 11th, 23 laps behind the leader. BMW withdrew in the P-class for Adelaide. Orbelin's car pushed to safety. Another driver struggling at the moment, Emmanuel Pirot. And his struggle for a different sort of reason. Coming together with Conrad. And limping back down the pit road. They'll get out again, but they'll take a little bit of time. We get back aboard with the leader through the right-hander. That is at the end of the long straight. And this car was actually badly crashed in the warm-up on the final lap of the warm-up before the race, and they really had to work very hard, the Audi team, to get it back together in time. But the Crocodile Audi is very much together. And with his act together too, Rinaldo Capello. In second place now is Schiatarella. Conrad third. Murphy is in fourth place with the David Brabham car, number 12. And once again, we're on board with Mimo Schiatarella. That's Olivier Beretta with the Dodge Viper. He's lying 5th overall, more important for him, 2nd in the GTS class. And 4th overall, Jean-Philippe Belloc. '92. Very strong drive from Belloc. The GT leader will pick up on Lucas Luhr in just a moment. Number 5 as we go into the 5th hour. There he is. And I can tell you that Mr. McNeish is back at the office again. And he can start concentrating when we pick him up in just a moment on trying to win the last round. And well, he's already won the championship. This will be a 6th victory. Alan McNeish at the back, obviously not giving him too much of a problem. And Mr. Jones, who had been drafted in case McNeish wasn't able to complete the race, will probably not be needed. And the GTS leader, Jean-Philippe Belloc, with the Dodge Viper in the pits. That's for both fuel and tyres. And I would think a driver change too, to Nia Marin. Doesn't it look just brilliant as the darkness really starts to come down on this Adelaide circuit? And the two Vipers hammer and tongue stuff. On 91, Carl Wendlinger is the new leader. From 92. With Amara now at the wheel. And after 174 laps, McNeish leading by 9 laps. Schiattarella, then Conrad some 9 laps adrift of him. 18 laps behind McNeish. No evidence that the back was causing Alan McNeish a problem at the moment. As we go back on board with Mimo Schiattarella, he's in second place. And down this long straight again, as they come just, well, that isn't the longest straight by any manner of means, it's just a little flick to the left and right. Top speed on the circuit being reached in daylight was around 170 mile an hour. I can tell you that there's a bit of a radio problem, and McNeish is not in direct contact with the pits at the moment. At the end of the long straight, and they've asked him to flash his high beam lights if he wants to come in. In other words, if he needs one of the other drivers to take over for the last 55 minutes. We'll know after the next lap. And he's not. He's not flashed his beam lights. So Alan McNeish obviously content to see it out to the end of the race. And why not? Well, that's Didier de Rodriguez. Transmission problem. And I think it will be a push to end his day for him. 2.36 miles of Adelaide, and Alan McNeish with the Crocodile Audi absolutely dominating. Well, Dindo, his co-driver Rinaldo Capello, is ready just in case. And there, the screen sign to tell him. So nothing being left to chance if Alan McNeish decides that he does need a break. Big crowd, and then they're going to party later on for the millennium. Or the new millennium, as they say. The real millennium. Jason Bright was 12th overall, 4th in the P class. He stopped, he hit the wall at Stag Corner. There was a full course yellow out for a while. Maybe we can just have a look at that again. That's Jason Bright, and he licks against the wall there. So the Panos team undoubtedly very disappointed. Bang! David Brabham there, watching what happened to his teammate. Jason Bright, who won the 2000 Indy Light Championship title, of course. And McNeish behind the pace car. He's 17 laps clear of De Rodriguez now. And Conrad 3 laps adrift of De Rodriguez. And you heard the commentator there, just 43 minutes remaining. Still on a full course yellow. And Alan McNeish just following that flashing light course car round. Well, we'll be back with the conclusion of Adelaide and the race of the century in just a moment.
Sport International, the fastest 4 days of the year. Top cars, top teams, Formula One drivers, rally crates, top riders in bike sport, live motor racing in the British Eurosport Thunderdome, all at the Birmingham NEC from January the 11th to the 14th. Be part of the world's most explosive motorsport show. For advance ticket bargains, call 0870 264 4444 or look at the website.
Sedona takes satisfaction to new heights. With Kia Sedona, you're a winner.
The great adventure of the Paris-Dakar Rally, 10,000 kilometres across Europe and Africa. Follow every moment live online with Eurosport.com. The very latest news on the teams and the torment of the greatest rally on earth. And every night, British Eurosport has highlights of the latest stage. 300 bikes, cars and trucks in a 3-week battle. The total Paris-Dakar Rally. Highlights every night at 9:30 on British Eurosport.
With Total.
Euromaster. What drives us is you.
And Mitsubishi Motors.
In the land of everlasting springtime, 4 teams take their winter break to train and to contest the 18th International Football Tournament of Maspalomas. Galatasaray champions PSV Eindhoven, Rosenborg and Hertha Berlin. It's a strong lineup. The International Football Tournament of Maspalomas from Gran Canaria, starting Wednesday live at 20:15 with PSV Rosenborg, and right through to Saturday on Eurosport. With Gran Canaria.
Well, it's a procession, but it's a procession led by Alan McNeish behind the course car, who knows that he's already won the ALMS series and he'd like to get his 6th victory of the 12th round championship in Adelaide at this 2.36 mile circuit just 2 hours before they move there into the year 2001. He gave him the chance to come in, he didn't take it, and now he's just seeing it through. McNeish really just got to keep it going steadily until the end. He's had his back problem. The team had a crash before the race was even underway, and the car needed an extensive rebuild after warming up. But really, both drivers, and Capello, who of course put it on pole, while McNeish wasn't even able to be out there, told by the doctors to rest. And Capello, of course, if McNeish had not started, could well have been the champion. Zidarowdy in the pits, Frank Biella, who led at the early part of the race, of course. advantage of making the change in the tyre change while the course car is out. Could see them finish up in the top 6. Had virtually an hour of repair earlier on. And there's the Crocodile Audi. Now back at race pace. Five hours and 45 minutes. And they're scheduled to finish just on 10 o'clock at night. Not a bad way to see into what they say is the real new millennium. There's the flashing light from McNeish, obviously very happy indeed. See him was waving his arms there in the car. And the Audi team. Maybe equally as happy. So you can see Alan McNeish is absolutely delighted. He could have done it just by completing the 25 laps. They've done it by winning the motor race. Franz Conrad second. That's the Dodge Viper. We've got a lot of fireworks and a lot of other exciting things to do at the end of this motor race. Just why we brought home the Dodge Viper. Confirmation of McNeish from Conrad, from Bendlinger, first, second and third. Muller finishing 5th overall. The GT. We'll have to be a little gentle with Alan McNeish when you get him out of the car. Which that is just exactly what they're about to do now. He's a little careful with himself. So Capello and McNeish with the victory. McNeish with the ALMS Championship as well. And now he turns his mind to other things, doesn't he? Pursuing, who knows, maybe. Wouldn't it be wonderful to see Alan McNeish in Formula One racing? And that's a pathway which may well be open. Well, there's McNeish and Capello. The Audi team delighted. The Australian crowd, 130,000 of them came to Adelaide to watch. And he went through the pain barrier to do it for him too, didn't he? The Crocodile Audi. Crocodile McNeish. For me, Tony Delahunty, some great motorsport there. And lots more to come on British Eurosport. Bye-bye.